seven wonders. I'll make a path to the rainbow's end.
I do. I really watch all the music channels, and I'm very aware of everything that's going on, because at my age, you really have got to know what is going on in the music business. You know, you really want to know everything about it, so that I don't feel like somebody who doesn't know anything about what's new.
Keeping connected to new music is a rejuvenating force.
Yes, it is.
It is.
It is.
And you mentioned Sarah McLachlan. Pierre Marchand, who's done all of Sarah's records, actually helped you out on this one.
Right. He did Love Is, which is the last song on the record. And he was going to come to work with me in L.A., and he couldn't cross the border because his green card had, like, worn out or something. So I had to go to Vancouver. And that's the reason that Sarah ended up being on this record, is because Sarah lives in Vancouver. So he said, you know, Sarah's here, we could have her play piano. And then it just worked out, you know, and I got to spend like a week there and go to her house and meet her husband, and her husband played on Love Is, and so we had a really wonderful bonding week.
We're going to talk about some of those bonds with other people when we come back, and also how much women love Stevie, as well as men. We're in conversation with Stevie Nicks on SpeakEasy.
So I knew I'd quit, and I really was never willing to literally quit. So that kind of made my decision for me.
Welcome back to SpeakEasy and our conversation with Stevie Nicks. Girls love you, Stevie. You know that, don't you?
Well, I think they love the whole fairy princess kind of thing that I kind of tried to create somewhere in the whole witchy rock and roll thing, you know. I did think when the album cover was done, when I knew that that was it, that picture, because we never set off to get a picture from the back. It was supposed to be a picture from the front.
We're talking about the new one.
But that little picture was the Polaroid that Neil Preston took for lighting the first time I walked up there on that little stage that we built in my backyard, and it's about 100 jillion foot drop down to the ocean. And I was pretty taken with it because it was up, it was like 5 feet up. So it was a little scary, a little intimidating when I first walked out to the end of that, and he took that Polaroid. And after the whole session was over and everybody had gone home, it was laying on a desk, on one of the desks, and I picked it up and I went, oh, this is it. We don't need to even go through the rest of the film. And it wasn't in the rest of the film. There was not a picture in the rest of the film that would have worked. That was it. That image right there, to me, I said, now every little girl at 3 is going to want to be her, and every 90-year-old woman's going to want to be her too, because that really is a very fairy tale princess kind of image. I never had that man's world fight. And I mean, I know that's lucky, because I know that few of us get through this life without at some point feeling like, well, I'm not going to get that job because I'm a girl. It never happened to me.
Never told me about the fire.
From the very first time that I joined Lindsay's band and I was told that I had to carry equipment or get paid less, I said, well, I'm not carrying equipment and I'm not getting paid less, or I'm walking out the door. And it seems to me that all those people are calling and booking your band asking for the little brownie blonde-haired girl. So if I leave, your band's not near as good. And I'm not carrying equipment.
Well, those
and
are
I never did.
Those are boundaries that a lot of women are afraid to set, because they think they'll lose their job.
People will take them and accept them. If you immediately, but you can't go back and forth. You can't become that, like, you know, kind of weak chick and then go back to being the strong chick, because they won't be able to deal with that. So you have always got to be fearless and strong in all your convictions, and then everybody will get out of your way.
Well, I've run through rainbows and castles of candy. My head in my hands, down on my knees.
You have two women that you've worked with for a long time, and they're more than backup singers.
Way much more than backup singers. Lori is my sister-in-law now, but Lori was just somebody that I met through a producer in 1978, and I asked her, if I ever do a record, would you like to be one of my backup singers? Same thing with Sharon. I met Sharon in Hawaii, and she was singing in a band in Maui. And after I watched the set, and after it was over, I went up and said, if I ever do a solo record, would you be interested in singing with me? So I was putting together my little team 3 years before I did Belladonna. They have been everything to me. They are my band. And, you know, Lori, bless her heart, you know, she has Jesse now, so she can't come on the road. She can do the records, but she can't go on tour. So that's hard for her, because she works, you know, on the whole record, and then she has to just go back to Phoenix, and I get in the limousine and go off on the big tour. So, but she made a choice, you know, to be a mom. And, you know, that's why I don't have kids, because I would have made that same choice.
Sometimes it's a fix, sometimes it's a breeze. Sometimes love's blind and sometimes it sees. Sometimes it's roses and sometimes it's weeds. Sometimes it's a fix, sometimes it's a breeze.
I knew that if I stopped to have a baby, I would not want anybody else to take care of that baby, and I wouldn't want a nanny, and I wouldn't have wanted that baby to belong to a bunch of other girls. And I knew that's what would happen. So I knew I'd quit. And I really was never willing to literally quit. So that kind of made my decision for me.
That's self-knowledge.
It was, and I really knew. And 2 years ago, almost 3 years ago, I got a puppy. It's the first time I ever got my own puppy and trained her and raised her myself. And I really know, after raising Sulamith, that I would not have been happy about other people taking my children. So I just knew, for me, it wasn't going to be right, you know. If I came here, God sent me here, I'm on a mission. I'm on a mission to write songs for people. And there's lots of kids in this world. So if I ever, you know, at 60, if I'm like really upset because I don't have a child, I'll go and adopt a child when I'm 60, you know. It's like that could always still happen if I feel, you know, the need to do that. I think I'll just get more dogs and horses and cats, and, you know, because that would be, you know, that's probably not what I would do. But it is always there. That option is always there. If I'd had my own baby, I wouldn't be here right now. I wouldn't be talking to you now.
She dreamed of a wanton luxury, and she laughed and she cried and she tried to taunt him.
You have always acknowledged the support and the closeness of your own family, and
Yeah.
how great they've been. Did that have a lot to do with your self-confidence and being able to draw those boundaries because
Yes.
you had that family support?
My dad was very, very successful. He was like president of Canadian Labatt's and Lucky Lager. And that was a 10-year thing, working up to that, right? And I really learned from my dad how to be a host, and how to deal with people, and how to put people together, and how to do that well. From my mother, I learned you will take shorthand and you will take typing, because just in case this music thing doesn't work for you, work out, you will never be dependent on a man. If I have anything to say about it, you will be able to support yourself. And since you don't like people telling you what to do, you should be the boss. You better be the boss. You better do something where you're in charge and you can tell other people what to do.